to the Gore and Lore Girls, Bellingham. Awesome tour guides. And as she continued through the history of Whatcom, Salem, Bellingham, Fairhaven, that city proclamation in the 1890s to all the residents to move their loved ones. It was the start of winter. They had 2 weeks to move them. They had to break the permafrost, dig up their bodies, and then figure out how to get them up the hill. So we talked about the trolleys. We talked about obviously the rich could hire private services to move theirs up. But then she started to explore the history from the 1890s into the 1900s, how we separated ourselves from a whole Victorian, really hands-on connection with death, and how involved we were with it, to actually just stuffing bodies in the ground, pumping them full of chemicals, and leaving them be. And apparently a lot had to do with Abraham Lincoln having a role in that, which I did not know. Again, history usually bores me after the medieval period, so I obviously didn't pay attention or was covered in this part of the lore of American history in history class. But anyway, so they moved the tour on up to the Old Town Cafe, which is just down the street from Rocket Donuts, which apparently was the morgue before it became a restaurant. It's where they prepared the bodies. Now, when I lived in Manitou Springs, my little ferry and pagan shop was actually in an old morgue. My bedroom, it was a live-work space. So my living room was the main part of the store, living room at night. Back up on the stage where they displayed the bodies was my bedroom. It was turned into a sound room before it became my shop at some point in the history. So they had a wall with a soundproof room where I could sleep. And I made my bedroom, and it was visible to anyone coming in the store during the day. Bathroom and stuff had a shower and kitchen sink and fridge and all that. So it was a nice live-work space. Dangerous though, because if I ever had a fire, there was only one exit out. Even the back window dropped down to a creek. And so if a fire broke out in the front of the building, I would be gone with it. It was haunted as well. So it intrigued me that the Old Town Cafe was once a morgue and then turned a restaurant. Apparently it was situated conveniently near the people who made the stone monuments across the street, and casket makers down at the mill down by the river, all pretty much locally convenient to each other, so that they could work with one another to handle the bodies. So apparently the Old Town Cafe has its lore of ghosts. Staff has been said, dishes rose in the air, and cabinets opening and closing, and some intriguing there. Again, this wasn't really a ghost tour as I thought it was. It's more gore and lore, so it was covering more of the history of it being a morgue building and local murders around by. Pointed out one of the cafes nearby that had a murder as well, and I'll go into that in the next segment. But it's fun.